Okay, it's recording now. It is. Andy, can you confirm? You're my boss, my checker.
Yeah, I have the red light. It's confirmed. We're recording. We're live.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are setting a new Zoom NSL talk record because for the first time we have 5 people on the same screen at the same meeting. And I'm welcoming Dennis Prate on the top left, Andy Growitz on the top right, Gary Smith on the bottom left, and Jerome Bob Nollet on the bottom right. And as everybody knows, we are talking to Hayabusa. But let's begin first with locations. It's interesting to see always where everybody is. Dennis, let's begin with you. Where are you actually? Where are you right now?
I'm in Belgium at my parents' place where I still live. Yeah.
And as we're already there, so you're not alone. I know there's somebody else there. Let's take a quick look who is also visiting. Clémentine Le Bouhec. She is a member of the French Flying Girls, and she is visiting at Dennis' home. Okay, we talk with you later. Thanks, Clémentine. And Andy, where are you?
I'm at my home in Ampere Brava. After the Wind Games, I stayed here for a while, and then I moved back to Belgium next week.
Schmitty, Gary Smith, coach.
Yeah, I'm in Dubai. Kurt, I'm still here, haven't left, at the City Premier Hotel Apartments, right next to the Burj Khalifa.
And you are coaching somebody else right now?
Right now, the Qatar 8-way. We have 10 more days of training, and then I head back to Netherlands.
Okay. Bob, where are you?
Well, I'm in Belgium, just at my home with the wife and 2 kids.
And you just escaped the kids, we
said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. I think it made it a little bit easier to talk.
We had Bob first downstairs, and I think he went upstairs, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'm in Lisa's room now.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for taking the time. We're missing David. Andy, what's your brother doing?
It was actually a New Year's drink at the drop zone. Actually, at the base, the military base. And at that moment, I think Dave is getting drunk.
You mentioned that already.
It's like to celebrate New Year. I think something like that.
Yeah, so we give him a little slack there, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think he's not gonna make it. By now, he's trying to crawl back home, probably.
As long as he doesn't take the bicycle. Oh, he's in Belgium, right? Or is he? No, he's in Korea. Where is he?
Dave? No, it's in Belgium. It's in the military base.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, I have to extend. I was hoping that actually Chris Talbot would do the job here, the anchoring job that I'm doing. So what he can't do it. He's in England, driving on the wrong side, and he is not but he says hi to everybody, and hopefully we have him next time again. Hi, Chris. Drive careful. Wind Games we have just completed. NMP, PCH, Hayabusa winning, of course. Was it boring, Dennis?
It would have been, of course, better if Verspeed would have showed. Of course, we can understand with the member change that you don't show up. But after round 1, we saw some interesting scores from Wimby, but we kind of expected it. And it's good that there's a team that can take maybe some rounds out of you or tie some. But at the end, I think all of us, we kind of knew that consistency-wise we would. But it was a very nice meet. It was well organized, a good atmosphere, some awesome flying from other disciplines, especially the freestyle with music, and we enjoyed our time a lot.
Andy, Hayabusa scored below 30 average. I haven't seen that in a long time. In fact, do you remember when it was the last time?
Actually, I don't really. I think it was before.
Does anybody know? I looked it up. I know. So
2000.
2000. No, it was
11. I think. I don't know.
It was a World Challenge
Give me a guess.
2014. That is like almost 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That was
I thought it was longer.
Yeah. So, was the competition draw difficult, or what was it?
Yeah, the main reason was the draw. As they handed the draw, we already knew that it was going to be very tricky. It's going to be, I think, quite impossible to get over the 30. Especially with the pressure that we had, you know, like we had a lot of fun. It was a good competition, and I think we performed very well. But I think maybe with a little bit more pressure, like Dennis says, from airspeed, we could have maybe gained a couple points more, maybe. But still, 30 would have been very difficult to get, very difficult, because it was quite a tough draw for everybody. And not only the difficulty of the draw, but also the transitions in each jump. Like there was also a lot of engineering in the draw.
There was some kind of pressure, I guess, especially on you, Bob. Wemby Leal, the former Hayabusa tail, Roy Jansen, I'm sure he's eager to get close at least to a Hayabusa score. So did you feel, was that kind of pressure for you in that slot, or as a new team member?
Not really. It's not that we are like so much opposites. I have a lot of respect for Roy, and I learned the slot from him, and I know what he is capable of. It wasn't really, because he was jumping with a pickup team, it wasn't really like a strong opponent for us, like Andy or Dennis says, consistency-wise. After 10 rounds, we know we can get beat on 1 or 2 rounds, or we tie a score. But in the end, I think the team which jumps together for the longest is going to make it. So, and that's what happened. So.
And it's a pretty good lineup that they always put together there for Wemby, and they train, right? I mean, they have.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not
but it's minimal, of course. So we really train for periods towards competition, and they just have a pickup team. They train for a few hours, and that's it. So it is a difference.
But it's still a lot. I mean, for a top team like this, get a few hours, I mean, at least you know each other. Schmitty, you were watching this and evaluating this very carefully, I'm sure, from Dubai. What did you see as of scores, draw, videos, and everything that caught your attention?
Well, obviously, I look at Hayabusa more critical than the other teams. If airspeed was there, then I would obviously study airspeed more intense. But I think they did good. There was mistakes. I think if we look at the video together, we definitely will point out errors. And I think that's where Andy says, I think they could have maybe just pipped the 30 with a bit of pressure. But if you look even at the Thunder scores, they scored a 24 something. And I can remember Thunder scores 27, 28, in that category. So you have to go, Thunder is probably a team that's been together the longest out there. And they scored below 25. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, they have to, yes, the draw is responsible. And then I know the guys well enough that when they go through the door, they all give in 100%. But if you don't have airspeed sitting in there, it's hard to get that extra 1% of speed out of them, But yeah, critically, I saw many errors, which I don't think cost them anything, but you see the errors coming through as knowing them that well.
Now we've heard that name quite a few times in this conversation so far, and it did not come from me. I've not said the word once yet. Airspeed. So let's
David.
Let's talk a little bit about airspeed now. I know Andy and I, when we talked last time with David, we didn't even know who would be the fourth man there. So a lot actually happened now in the meantime. And I'm sure you have followed that also very carefully. What do you think now about the new lineup? Mikhail is in the point slot. What were your thoughts, Andy?
For me?
Let's begin with Andy.
Andy, yeah.
With me? Actually, future-wise, I think it was the best decision that they took. Also because Mikhail is a very eager and very talented flyer. I think he will most likely progress very fast, and he will join the team very fast. And yeah, it's not really a surprise for me that they would take Mikhail, but it's just a surprise, like how we talked about it last time, that that eventually Airspeed would take the decision to change members. Yeah, just that.
Dennis, he's taking your slot. He's going from tail to point. Have you ever had a different slot than the point slot?
Not as a serious team. I've always been a point or a guy that flew in the front. But for the experience that I have in the tail slot and stuff, I must say it's quite different. But I'm sure that Mikhail will adapt pretty quickly. And as Andy, as we all mentioned before, we always treat Airspeed as like a threat, like the team to beat. And I think we have to continue doing this also regarding the member change that they had. So
let's bring you in, Bob, quickly, because when I spoke with Airspeed, I don't know if you've seen that, it was like last week or so. You know, we had them on Zoom actually too, on one computer only, though that was a lot easier. They said, I don't know who it was, Thomas or Nicholas, but they said that tail and point have actually a lot in common. So if you have been tail, you know, in your first slot, and then you move to point, there is a lot of, you know, similar things, vice versa. What do you see, the two of you?
For me, same as Dennis. I didn't really learn the point or the front piece slots that well. But I can imagine if you join a team with three of the best in the world, that they're gonna pick you up very fast and you're gonna progress very fast. So I think it's just gonna be a matter of how fast he can learn everything. But he's in a great team, so I think because he's such a good flyer, he's gonna get on level very fast. So same as I did. I didn't really have to learn a new slot, so that's a little bit different. But I don't think that's such a major issue.
And Gary, you are observing this almost like from a more neutral position, you know, Airspeed and Hayabusa, and you know, the whole top competition anyway. What do you think? What were your thoughts when you finally saw that Airspeed was picking Mikhail for the slot?
Yeah, I mean, I think exactly what's been said. I think it was the correct choice in the sense that if they brought Josh in, they would be stronger right now. But so it would be maybe in the short term, we would have to not even work harder, but there would be a more serious threat. But I think in the long run, it's better to have Mikhail in there who really is ready to go and available every single day to jump and make so many jumps, than to bring in somebody who's maybe not as keen. I don't know the circumstances around Josh's acceptance or decline, you know. But on the other side, I also think Mikhail is a phenomenal flyer. I've watched him on the tail, and he moves around there pretty much for me the same as Thiago. So yes, I see similarities, as I think Thomas pointed out. There are very similar blocks, 7, 14, 21. Well, there's not that much difference. But once you come to the random work where you're facing out or facing in and setting up, I think it will take them longer than maybe, you know, they expect. I don't think it's that simple to go from a tail to a point. You know, Thiago is a great flyer, and he struggled.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So we keep that in the back of mind. It would be nice to discuss this like for an hour or two and then over beer, but unfortunately, you know, we don't have that much. At the same time, I'm picking up also something Solly said yesterday. We had, you know, we talked a little bit, and he said now he would recommend for Airspeed to go to competition, get as many meets, and now with Mikhail with a new lineup. So they are reconsidering now their schedule actually for this year. They're looking again into it. What do you think? Will we see Airspeed more often? And then will Hayabusa try to face the main opponent if they decide to go to more meets? What do you think?
Who?
Schmitty, let's continue with Schmitty. No, Schmitty doesn't know actually about that. So let's go back to Dennis actually, because you're in Belgium. You know more what's going on.
Well, I think, well, what I hope is, yes, of course, that we meet each other more in competitions and stuff. And I actually hope that now that they didn't come to Emporia, I kind of hope in my head that they would come to Bedford, considering that they're looking at their scheduling. But I can understand for us as well, you know, we have limited like travel to go to the US. This is army wise. We cannot go overseas that much. And I guess it's the same for them, you know, money wise, it costs a lot of money to go to cross the Atlantic and do some competitions over there. So I think the situation gets a bit more difficult, but yeah, of course we hope anytime we can to face each other, the better it is. But
so for you, it would probably be then it would be the World Challenge.
If they would consider scheduling and like last year's, they would come over for one tunnel competition, which would have been the Win Games. Mm-hmm. Well,
maybe.
I'm just thinking.
But outdoor competition this year, what's going on there actually? What's on the agenda for outdoor competition?
For the moment, what do we have?
Nationals, Belgian nationals.
We only have our nationals and our CISM, and that's until the world meet.
That's not that much either for Hayabusa. So the Shamrock showdown still lurking in the background somehow. Not really. It's out of the equation at this point.
For us, it doesn't really work. Like we committed to the schedule that we have, and so also everybody made their personal schedules around that schedule. So like March is also too early for us to add another competition. So yeah.
Tough year. It's becoming more and more difficult to find outdoor competition. Now, indoor meets are all over the planet. Schmitty, is that what you see too? And for
and even worse, I mean, right now, of course, my heart lies in the four-way, but I'm working with an 8-way team. And it's very difficult when all the four-way, if you look at the IPC meets that have come through, everybody's bidding for indoor meets, but they're all 14-foot tunnels. So you're almost cutting off the whole 8-way event right now. As soon as you bid for and the IPC accepts the 14-foot tunnels, it's the end of the 8-way, you know? Right. So, and it's a pity. I've just had an hour ago, I was chatting with Jeremy, and it's almost a revival of the French 8-way because they can go to a 16, 17-foot tunnel in France. They all want to get going. But I said, yeah, but the problem right now is there's the World Meets and the World Cups are all in 14-foot tunnels. So it's a pity that it's growing. I like it for the four-way. And of course it's doable, but it's kind of, right now we need bigger tunnels almost, you know?
Well, we'll see what is going to be built in the coming years. And I guess FAI IPC has to make a call on that too, now that they are running events only at bigger tunnels. I mean, that's
yeah. I mean that would be ideal. That would be ideal, but of course you need the tunnels. You know, the fact that Canada has bid and it's been accepted that it will be in Canada. It's unfortunately a 14-foot tunnel. So here we go. You know. It's the end of the 8-way. It's the end. You have to come to Clash of Champions to do 8-way tunnel or Paraclete.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have to come to an end here slowly. Unfortunately, David is still celebrating. So I want to say thank you again to everybody for taking the time. Sorry that it took a little longer to get it all together at the beginning. Hello.
We blame Bob.
Technology.
Over Clementine on Dennis's side there, and we will see you soon again too. Thank you, Gary, Bob, everybody, and I look forward to seeing and talking to you soon again.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt.